Hello, my name is Branimir Kane. I'm a product marketing manager for migrations here at Atlassian. Today, I'm going to be giving an overview of how Jira Software Cloud differs from the server and data center offerings you may already be familiar with. We're going to aim to highlight some of the most significant differences and share some of the latest improvements we've made to the product. This is the project you're likely already familiar with in Jira Server or Data Center, now called a company-managed project in the cloud. Company-managed projects are ideal if your team wants to work with other teams across many projects in some type of standardized way. We've introduced team-managed projects in the cloud. These are ideal for teams who want to control their work processes and practices in some type of self-contained space. You can mix and match Agile practices to support your team as you grow in size, complexity, and you really get a modern Jira experience for teams that don't need the utmost customizability. Here, you're going to have the option to create a project based on various templates. For software development projects, you can pick from Kanban, Scrum, or bug tracking. You have the option to create both team and company managed projects in the cloud. Today, we're going to create a team managed project so we can show you all the new and exciting features that come with this project type. In Jira Server or Data Center, you've likely seen this view, giving you the option to edit issues, workflows, screens, or fields. For expert administrators, this likely isn't a problem, as you become accustomed to these pages. Still, for non-administrators, this level of customizability can be overwhelming and ultimately not needed for their use cases. That's why we've introduced team-managed projects in the cloud, which enable users to self-serve where necessary. So let's talk about how they've been simplified. When you navigate to the Project Settings and then Features tab, you'll be brought to this page, which simplifies how and which features can be exposed in your project. Simply by toggling a button, you'll be able to disable or enable features. When I enable the Reports or Issue Navigator features, they'll appear on the left-hand panel on the original project screen. But that's not all. You can actually customize your project in a more intuitive fashion on this page. Here you'll see a collection of configurations that can be made, such as editing screens, workflows, issues, fields, and transitions. Here you can see that we can add and remove fields to be shown on the screen. You can also rearrange the order, or you can add default values to a particular field. If you need to introduce a new issue type, you can do that by clicking on the Add Issue Type button on the left-hand side. The same goes for fields. If you don't have the correct field, you can create a new one and add a previously created field on the issue type. And for a particular issue type, you can create a workflow that needs to be followed, either using the creation wizard here, or using the UI to create transitions between statuses. In Jira Server and Data Center, apps are powerful tools for automation and customization that are still available in the cloud. However, we know not everyone is ready for apps or able to install apps on their instance. With Jira Cloud, you have more options, including built-in automation, easily accessible to everybody. When working in team-managed projects, there's a couple different ways you can automate repetitive tasks. You'll see a lightning bolt in the top right-hand corner of the workflow edit screen. This has a set of rules that can be applied to a workflow to automate repetitive actions when people are moving work between statuses. But for more complex automation needs in both company and team managed projects, we have global and project rules. Here we have a rule list which lists out all the rules in our system. When we go to create a rule, we get to select a trigger which kicks off a rule and puts everything into motion. It's constantly listening, so when events occur, we can then perform actions. An example of one thing that you might want to automate is that if a testing issue is created, we might want to automatically assign that to QA for review. There are a lot of choices here, but we're going to select issue created and then save. You'll note on the left-hand side, you can see the rule being built up as we work. Now I can select an action, and I'm going to select the assign action. And here you have it. You can now either save the rule or you can add other actions, conditions, or a new branch of logic, making it as complicated or as simple as you want. If you think you have a relatively standard use case, you can always check out our library, which comes preloaded with the basics. Or you can check out Atlassian's automation library and our community to discuss some ways that you might be able to automate the work in Jira. Once you've laid the groundwork with the right project type, automation, fields, you're probably going to want to enrich your project with information. You'll remember the issue view from Jira Server or Data Center, the issue view where you track and enrich all of your issues, as well as collaborate with colleagues. In Jira Cloud, we've introduced a new issue view, simplifying the user experience, building off of what we learned from the old issue view. You'll notice in the new issue view that your fields mostly sit on the right. Any fields that are of particular interest or useful to you can be pinned to the top. And you can configure fields to only show if they're populated. They'll otherwise be hidden. You can transition an issue through the many different workflows you have by clicking on the transition dropdown. And we've overhauled the attachment panel. So now all images, even those that appear in comments, will now appear in the attachments panel once we've commented on the page. We've also got quick add buttons at the top, allowing us to create a subtask, attach files and images, link issues or web links, and more. If you're familiar with Jira Server or Data Center, you're likely familiar with the Atlassian Editor. And while this one has served us well, we thought we could do better, and it was time for a change. On top of a more curated viewing experience, the Atlassian Editor now gives you a best-in-class issue editing experience. Off the bat, you'll notice many familiar features are still available in the new editor, while some are still being worked on and others have been redesigned to support more use cases and make the editor easier to master. We've also introduced some great new features that elevate your overall editor experience. I want to call out the all-powerful / command, which lets you do just about anything without lifting your hands off the keyboard. The / command has effectively replaced most of the toolbar, letting you search and browse for select commands. Once you've created a ticket and filled it out with the relevant fields, it's generally time to assign the ticket. Visually similar to Jira Server or Data Center, you'll see a list of suggested users in the assignee field. However, what's unique about this list is that it's using machine learning. Jira Software Cloud is able to recommend the optimal issue assignee in 86% of the cases. This might seem trivial at first, but if you add up all the time you spend looking at the right assignee, it might actually shock you, and certainly shocked us. In Jira Server or Data Center, you're likely familiar with this screen that lets you search for all the issues you have in a particular project. In the cloud, we've used this as a jumping off point, keeping what works, getting rid of what doesn't, and optimizing the experience across the board. Available for either company or team managed projects, the Project Issue Navigator lets you do more easily when looking through your project. You can use text search or filter by assignee, reporter, status, and more to find exactly what you're looking for. You can easily sort issues by a variety of criteria, as well as toggle between list and detail view. When in detail view, you can modify issues directly from the list, making it easier for you to update what you need when you need it. I think everyone would agree that being able to find what you're looking for is one of the most important things when you're at work. Search is a crucial part of Jira software, regardless of which deployment you're using, server, data center, or cloud. In Jira Server and Data Center, you've likely seen the quick search bar in the top right-hand corner. This implementation of quick search lets you search across projects for specific issues using basic text matching. In the cloud, search can be found in the same spot. However, we've introduced some additional information to make it easier to find what you're looking for. The first thing you'll note is that you can see recently viewed issues as well as boards, projects, filters, and plans. In addition to being able to search through Jira, you can search through other linked products such as Confluence or Bitbucket, making it easier for organizations who are scaling to break down information across silos. If you need to refine your search further, you can use the advanced issue search to use JQL to build structured queries to find exactly what you're looking for with as much granularity as you need. If you're using Jira software, you're likely familiar with our advanced roadmaps offering, designed to help you build plans across multiple teams and bundled in at no additional cost to our data center and enterprise cloud offerings. However, we've introduced a new feature called Roadmaps, which is exclusive to the cloud, designed for a single team, so you can manage your roadmap and your internal planning all in one place. The roadmap is a great way for your team to ladder up to the epic level, sketching out the big picture. It provides visibility into what's planned and simplifies the task of having to communicate plans with stakeholders and making sure the team stays on the same page. Roadmap supports dependency management, helping teams adapt and plan for alternate paths. You can easily show the relationship between epics by mapping dependencies directly on the roadmap. You can then share with any user, or you can export this information for some type of presentation. DevOps is the norm, but half of all teams can't measure performance. In Jira Server, Data Center, and Cloud, you have access to Agile reporting, with more than a dozen out-of-the-box reports giving you real-time actionable insights into how your team is performing over time. However, sometimes pulling a report takes too long or gives you too much information. That's why we've added Insights to remove the noise. Insights gives you better access to data in boards and backlogs so that your teams can work smarter, monitor performance, and continually improve right when they're making plans and setting priorities. You can see insights in your backlog, board, and deployments tabs. Depending on which tab you're on, you'll see your sprint commitment, issue type breakdown, sprint progress, epic progress, and more. As we receive more feedback from the community, we're going to continue to add more and more insights so that you can adapt existing processes, drive better outcomes, and plan with confidence. And that brings us to a close. Hopefully you've enjoyed this overview and walked away understanding how cloud can improve developer productivity by accelerating workflow innovation and velocity via inline data insights, easy-to-use automation, and a smoother user experience. If you're ready to try out Jira Cloud today, click on the box in the top right-hand corner or visit the Atlassian Migration Center for some more information.